Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? How about that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Aguduk. Hello, John. Hello, Kolumbetka, Ragul, Ketison, Nitrix Live. Anyone else? I didn't see anybody else. Hello, everyone who joined today. Today is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, and that means today, according to the schedule, we're supposed to be programming in C++. We're supposed to be programming Vodus. Hello, Benny Darshan. But recently there was a lot of buzz around Advent of Code 2020, so I decided to dedicate the first half of today's stream to looking into that. How about that? Does it sound something interesting? Oh my god, yes, that was a good idea. People already throwing money at me. Thank you, Ragul, for 4 months of Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, and welcome to our epic Advent of Code Club. That's right. Okay, so that was a good idea, jumping on that train. All right. So, yeah. So essentially, as far as I know, they post like problems every day. Hello, 13. I'm gonna take a look at the yesterday's problem, because yesterday's problem is already solved by majority of the people, and today's problem is people probably trying to solve it. So maybe they don't want spoilers or anything. So maybe that's gonna be the thing. Maybe we're gonna look at the past problems that are more likely to be solved by majority of people. But we're not gonna look at the recent ones. We'll see. I don't really have a plan for this entire Advent of Code thingy at all. What's up, Freefu? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, let's take a look at this thing. I think I solved Advent of Code problem once. The one for 2015. I just solved the first one and just forgot about it. So I'm pretty sure I already have an account there. So the only thing I will need to do is to log in using my GitHub account. So in what language do you want to use? That's a very interesting question. Why does it matter? I don't know yet. To be fair, I don't know, about the language so far. Alright. So, login. I'm supposed to use GitHub. I'm gonna actually just hide it from everyone, just in case it exposes something. Alright, I think it worked. I think I logged in. Yeah, as you can see, I appear as Rexim, so this is my account. And let's take a look at the first problem. So maybe I should create like a maybe separate folder for this kind of stuff. We're gonna have like Advent of Code 2020, and so maybe we're gonna have something like 01 here. So this is where we're gonna keep our solution. So on top of that, it probably makes sense to start Team UCAS, right? I'm gonna start Team UCAS, and I'm gonna start Emacs from within that Team UCAS. Hello, Ivanhoe, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome. So, yeah, let's take a look at it. After saving Christmas 5 years in a row, you've decided to take a vacation at a nice resort on a tropical island. Surely Christmas will go on without you. The tropical island has its own currency and is entirely cash only. The gold coins used there to have a little picture of a starfish. The locals just call them stars, and none of the currency's exchanges seem to have heard of them, but somehow you'll need to find 50 of these coins by the time you arrive so you can pay the deposit on your room. To save your vacation, you need to get all 50 stars by December 25th. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. Before you leave, the elves in the accounting just need you to fix your expense report, your puzzle input. Apparently something isn't quite adding up. Specifically, they need you to find the 2 entries that sum up to 2020 and then multiply those 2 numbers together. For example, suppose your expenses report contains the following. Do I have to read that? well, okay, maybe not. In this list, the two entries that sum up to 2020 are 1721 and 299. Multiplying them together produces this number, so the correct answer is this. Of course, your expense report is much larger. Find the two entries that sum up to 2020. What do you get if you multiply them together? Seriously? Read in Russian. Okay. After saving Christmas 5 years in a row, you've decided to take. All right. Okay. So this sounds like a regular coding interview problem. So you can solve that in n square, right? You can just. Hello, iStream Chess. You can just, iterate through all of the pairs and just solve that. But that would be kind of boring, I think. Alright, because that's too fucking easy. Can you do better than that? Pepega prop. So, let me see. So essentially, like you have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, right? And you can iterate through each individual number, right? So we have xi. Let's actually do it like that. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. So xi, and once you've got xi, what essentially you need to do is to take 2020 and subtract xi from that, and you need to try to find this number in this particular array. So you can try to find it in O of n, but if you, for example, sort this array, you will be able to find it in log n, right? And sorting will require n log n, right? And so this is precomputation, n log n precomputation plus n log n of search. So overall, you can come up with n log n solution if you use sort plus binary search, right? So, but can you do better than that? I think you can. For example, I think you can do O of n amortized if you use hash tables. Yeah, if you use hash tables, instead of sort, you build a hash table in O of n amortized, and then you iterate in O of n amortized. So, yeah, so maybe we're gonna go for this solution. We can try. Is it possible to resubmit the problem? Because maybe it doesn't matter. We'll see how it goes. What's amortized? I don't remember a specific definition of amortized, but basically it's gonna be O of n in most of the cases. All right. So what we're gonna use for all of that? If I want to use hash table, I think the easiest thing for me to use here would be to use Rust, because I recently worked with hash tables in Rust. So yeah, how about Rust? Do you guys want to use Rust? So Freefoo, look. So do you know how to implement vector, std vector? Do you know how to implement that? So essentially, you pre-allocate array of n, right? A sequential array of n, right? And you reserve a size of that array and capacity of that array, right? So, and when you push back into that array, instead of reallocating, you just increase the size and place the new element into corresponding place until you exceed the capacity. Once you exceed the capacity, you will have to reallocate the array and copy all of the elements there. Okay, so in the majority of situations for such data structure, the push is going to be O of 1 in the majority of situations, but sometimes it's going to be O of n. But the amount of times it's going to be O of n, it's so small, it's negligible, and this is what we call usually O of 1 amortized. So there's more like formal definition of what that means, but essentially in the majority of the situation it's going to be O of 1, right? But sometimes when we need to do like a big operation, it's going to be a little bit slower, but it's like negligible. You see what I mean? So this is what we usually mean. So it's not really O of 1, it's O of 1 amortized. But for like a more thorough explanation of what that means, in terms of math, O of 1 is the limit of n in infinity, if I recall correctly. Yeah, probably. So for more like a thorough explanation, I would like you to check out CLRS, or so-called Introduction to Algorithms. They have like the whole goddamn chapter dedicated just discussing O notation and measuring time and time and memory complexity. Like they like explain everything there. So it's a really good book. The Introduction to Algorithms. So is it available? I think this is the book. I don't know. Is that a pirated version? I don't know. Okay, kind of strange. We do not approve of piracy on this channel. Anyways, so let me take a look. So I'm gonna take, I found it on Google. Lol. Well, cool. So let's take an input and put it here. And let's start doing it in Rust, I suppose. So it's gonna be main. So, so what I want to find here is a hash set. Yes, I want to have a hash set. But the problem with the hash set is that those things, these elements can be repeating. Right, these elements can be repeating. You know what? Just add +1. Add +1? I'm misunderstanding. Okay. So maybe we're gonna go in the order of difficulty. Maybe I'm gonna just straight up implement it like n squared. Then we can try n log n. So let's try n squared. Just to see, like, just to compare them. Then n log n, and then n O of n. So far I can think of only these three solutions. Okay. Does it matter if the elements repeats? Yes, it does. I think it does. So read string. Is it called read into string? I think it doesn't matter because we can just take std in. Right, we can take std in. And if I remember correctly, you can lock it. Okay, std in, read to string. Okay, and you can read it into a buffer. That's cool. So let's give it a try. So can I do lines of this thing? Oh boy, oh boy. All right. I keep forgetting how to do that. Okay, a fast read to string. Oh, Jesus Christ. Because I switch to different languages way too often to remember all of these small individual details, like seriously. Or maybe I'm just getting very old and keep forgetting all of that. Maybe younger people just can't remember that all the time. But for me, it's getting really difficult. For me, it's getting really difficult recently to remember all of these things. So here is the input. So we're gonna have an input. But maybe on top of that, I'm gonna just simply unwrap that input. And can I split that thing by new lines? Or maybe I can just do lines, can I? So, for example, does string have lines? Those in why you don't remember everything from every language? I don't know. So str lines, you can do str lines. String split by lines. I guess I can just do split. Like I remember that it had like a special thing for that, but okay, whatever. So I can split it like that, and then I can then parse all of that. What's up, Rodnan? Welcome to the stream. So, and then I can parse it into, let's say, I32, and I think then I'll have to unwrap all of that. So afterwards, maybe I have to save the result here, and I'm gonna just debug print this entire thing just to ensure that I didn't do any special fucky-wacky. And let's try to compile that and see if it compiles at all. All right. Oh, that was bad. Okay, it's thinking about something. It is in fact thinking about something. Let me remove all of that. So what is it complaining about? Yeah, it has to be a debugger. It has to be a debugger. Okay. Creates a temporary thread, which is... Okay, so I can probably do something like input here, right? Something like input here. And then this is going to be input, hopefully. Then semicolon. I feel like I'm wasting too much time on this thing. Okay. Okay, cool. And we got something. Oh yeah, I also need to collect all of that into a vector. So I need to collect all of that into a vector. Like this. So that will give me... Alright. It couldn't do anything, which is strange. Which is strange. It's panicked. Yeah, I remember there was something about lines, but it's... if there was like an easy way... Parse int error empty. Oh, this is because one of them were empty. I see. So, okay. That means... can we filter some of them? So something like S is non-empty. Is that how we do that? I think is non-empty, but I don't remember. Okay, so something like this probably. Like I can never remember these things. Yeah, there we go. I managed to do that. Cool. So essentially, it just had like a new line, yeah, we managed to actually solve that. What's up to a step? Welcome to the stream. So we have this entire thing, and again, we're gonna go for square solution. So that means we're gonna iterate. So let's call this axis, and I want to have n here, which is going to be the length of this entire thing. So I'm iterating, starting from 0 up until n minus 1, I think. Right, yeah, n minus 1. And then I'm iterating j, starting from I plus 1 up until n, and that will let me to iterate through all of the pairs. And if axis ij plus axis j equal 2020, right, you basically multiply them together. All right, axis I multiply axis j, and essentially quit return out of that. So that should be it. So, and if I try to run this entire thing, it's not going to compile, because why? Expected, oh, because this is a macro, right? This is a macro. All right, so, and the answer is correct as far as I can tell. The answer is correct. Yeah. All right, so let's actually try to take a input, like a puzzle input, and see if we can use this code to solve it. Okay. So here's our input. Oh shit, it's too small. Like, I mean, square root is gonna just do... It's just gonna destroy it. not square root, well, square is gonna straight up destroy it. Like, seriously? Okay, so let's do input txt. And do we get it? Do we get it? Oh my god, I remember this one. Yeah. So we'll have to select everything. Just put it like that. And let's just run it. Okay, so we got this number. And if I go back, and put that number here, alright, that's the right answer. You're 1 gold star closer to saving your vacation. Oh, so there are 2 parts. Okay, that's very interesting. There are 2 parts. Alright, so let's continue. Okay. Part 2. The elves in accounting are thankful for your help. One of them even offered you a starfish coin they had left over from past vacation. They offer you a second one if you can find 3 numbers in your expense report that meet the same criteria. Using the above example, again, the 3 entries must sum up to... Well, we can try to do... Okay, so n cube. Alright, so that shouldn't be that hard. So should I split all of that to like a separate thing? I'm just thinking how I'm gonna organize all of that. So this is gonna be part 1, right? This is part 1, but I'm gonna comment it out. And part 2, right? Part 2 is essentially gonna be that, but with the 3 loops. In 0 and -2. Okay, for j. In I plus 1 n minus 1. For k in j plus 1 n, yeah, until n. There we go. And if access I plus access j plus access k equal to 2020, just do the same thing. Print ln. Slow code is a job security, yes, exactly. Access k, and then we're gonna break out of that. So yeah, we're iterating until that. Then the next one iterates until then another one, and then yeah, okay, so that should be okay. I don't see any problems with that. So the example, I want to go back to the example that we had, so I can confirm that everything's okay there. I can just confirm that everything's okay. Rust C. What's up, Shazawak? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. How are you doing? Okay, so it's 241881. So where's the correct 24186? Yeah. So that's the correct one. That's the correct one. So and let's take a look at the puzzle input. Is that the part 1? Or it's the same input? I suppose it's the same input. I have to use the same input. Okay, so I'm gonna just click this thing one more time, just in case, and I'm gonna just use that input. All right, so that's that one, and I'm gonna just run this entire thing, and that gave me that, and I'm not sure how correct that is. Yeah, let's just submit that. Okay, so I solved the first problem, I suppose. All right, so that was easy. What the fuck? Maybe this is because it's the first day. But I actually prepared to, you know, implement like a solution with the hash tables and shit like that. So that would be actually interesting. Senior software dev Todding, are you working at Google? No, I'm not working at Google. To be fair, when I was going through the Google interview, they actually asked me similar problems, but they were a little bit more complicated, and they also involved probability theory, which is interesting. Maybe we will see a probability theory here as well. So I'm not gonna go into the second problem, by the way, second day problem, because it came out today, so maybe not everyone actually solved it, so we're not gonna spoil it. Right. What happened with Google? It still exists, I suppose. You can still go to google.com and it still works. You can put something there and it still searches. So but I really want to try to speed it up. For example, by sorting the array. But I'm not sure if it's worth it if it's just that. It wouldn't spoil much. The input is unique for each user. You're kind of missing the point. So, alright. So this is a part 1. We can actually move it outside. How would you solve it in nlog n, by the way? So, yeah, let's put it like that. Let me do it like this. Yeah, so part 1. This is part 2, and we're gonna comment it out. So for nlog n, the first thing we'll have to do, we'll have to sort the array, and then use binary search to search within the sorted array. Or we can build a binary tree, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work that well. Can you sort in Rust? Okay, you can sort. Can you do a binary search? You can do binary search. Nice. You can do that even on a slice. So you just have to provide a slice and it will find you a particular value there. Just sorts, it's easy. Yeah, I think it's gonna be easier. We're gonna just sort it. So let's do a sort. So you do slice. Okay, so sort the slice. This is a stable sort, it's nlog n in worst case, and everything seems to be okay. But that will require actually making this thing mutable. So it's gonna be x sort, and that should be it. After that, what we do, we iterate through each of the elements of the array, right? And we subtract that element from 2020, and we're trying to find that element in the sorted array using binary search. So this thing is going to be O of n, right? And this thing, that search, is going to be log n. So overall, this thing is going to end up as n log n, which is faster than n squared. And it would make sense if the input was huge, right? So that would be like significantly faster than, you know, iterating through all of these things. Even though it's not that important, I still want to try it out and see if it produces the correct result. All right, so let's take a look at the binary search interface. Okay. And what does it give you? If the value found, it returns, okay, containing the index of the matching. Oh, that's actually super cool. I really like that. You know why? Because we iterate by index, so we can easily find if we found ourselves, right? If, for example, yeah. So that's actually kind of cool. So So it's a part of the slice. I suppose I should be able to do the following thing. Binary search like this. So I search this value from within this thing. And if let OK y, it actually has to be j, I think. And if I not equal j, we're gonna do the following thing. So this should be a faster solution, theoretically. Not sure if it's correct one, but we'll see. So this is a part 1. So part 3 is gonna be, that's just gonna be a nested thing, right? So part 3 would be n log n log n. All right, so let's try to compile this entire thing. Rust C main.rs, and yeah, of course. Expected really? Is that okay? Sure, I mean, okay. I don't mind. Well, because binary search accepts element by a reference, so you have to take an expression and pass it by a reference. So yeah, essentially, I mean, sure, why not? So let's take a look. Let's take this input. And it worked. It's probably because... Oh yeah, I forgot to break. I'm sorry, I forgot to break. So let's redo that. Let's see main.rs. Yep. And I think that's a correct one. Yeah, that's a correct one. So that one also worked. And yeah, that one is n log n. That one is n log n. So this is squared. This is n log n, part 1. And we can try to do part 2. We can try to do the part 2. So both of the parts probably will require sorting. So that's why I'm going to do it like that. So this is what we're going to have here. Right. Part 2. So, sort my senpai. Sure. After the stream, if you got some plots, don't worry about it. We're going to sort everything out. Oh shit, this one is interesting. I think it's going to be squared as well. Yeah, because 2020, we don't have enough information to even find anything there. Yeah, so essentially it has to be n squared, yeah, n squared login. I can now see that. I couldn't see that because I didn't start implementing this code. Once I started to implement, now I can see that. So it's going to be a plus 1. So, and because of that, I think this has to be something like this. Plus 1 n, right? And this is where we're going to do the search. So we'll have to search for 2020 minus xi minus xj. So that's what we'll have to search for. And if let okeg k, yep. And if, oh, this one is interesting. So I should not be equal to j, j should not be equal to k. Right, if I not equal, we know that I is not equal to j, that's for sure. That is ensured by these two loops, by these two ranges, right? So that means the only thing I need to check if j is not equal to k, right? And once it's not equal to k, I can just perform the same thing. So this one ends up to be n squared log n, right? So ON squared log n, which is, yeah, which is still better than n cubed. Which is still better than n cubed. So what's funny is that if we're gonna start doing the O of 1 with the hash table, the solution is gonna be n squared. Imagine the second part solving in actually squared than cube. That's actually interesting, but of course it's gonna be amortized, but yeah. Of course it's gonna be amortized. All right, so this is the third part, then we sort everything, and yeah, let's go. And of course I forgot to break again. Why did it print it twice? Ah, return, because I have to break out of several loops. Yeah, so maybe everywhere I do a break I have to actually do return. Yeah, I should do return. Yeah, because I have to just straight up get out of there. Yeah. Is that the correct value? Is that the correct value? No, it is not. Because I'm a bebega. I need to multiply the third component. Yeah. Now we're talking. I might as well just take this entire thing and wait. Okay, there we go. It's that. It's that. Okay, so we have an n squared log n solution. Now we need to implement the one with the hash table, and I'm not sure if the hash table is going to be suitable here. You know why? Because we lose a lot of information, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to check this condition. So yeah, why is it I don't want to do fair of one, not amortized one? Oh, you mean with like count, with the perfect hashing? But we don't know the range of the numbers. What are the ranges of the numbers? Because we don't really know much information about the shape of the input. That's probably why I don't want to do that. Find minimum, find maximum. I don't understand it. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got a raid. Thank you for the raid, Jiang. Thank you. And hello, raiders. Welcome. So yeah, we solved first problem of advent of code in n squared log n. So, and I could try to go to like with the hash table, you know, shrinking down to n for the first part and n squared for the second one, but I don't really want to go there because I'm gonna just make too many assumptions about the data, and it's not like it matters anyway. Because the input is so small. So yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here. So I got the third part down to n squared log n, and I think I'm happy with that. Like actually it's n log n plus n squared log n, but this component of the polynomial grows faster than this one. That's why we don't really have to mention it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So does anyone wants this piece of code? Does anyone needs it? I can upload it to GitHub if anyone needs it. How do you... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, let me git ignore main, and here we have several solutions here. We might as well I just want to do it like that, and then duplicate it and do it like that. Yeah, so to make them self-contained. All right, so let's create a repo, and maybe we're gonna even, you know, from time to time push different solutions there. Push different solutions there. Okay, so ready, set, go. So let's maybe implement something. End of code 2020. Do I need to? I think I also need to provide the license. No, it's a description. Jesus Christ. Okay. And let's add this thing. No, this is not what I wanted. Add origin, and this is what we're gonna have here. Okay, did it do that? All right. So now, I wish the input was a little bit bigger, so you'll be forced to do something more interesting with this. But it's only day one. Yeah, I see. So maybe later is going to be more interesting. All right, so I looked into the advent of code. Cool. So maybe tomorrow we're going to take a look at the second day. Who knows? Some of them really are quite difficult. Okay, so that actually sounds cool. I'm really happy that they increasingly get more difficult. Yeah, cool. That's it for today. No, we have a plan for today, right? So everyone who came for Advent of Code, you feel free to get the fuck out. I'm joking. You don't have to, because we are switching to C++ and developing Vodus. That's right. So today, according to the plan, we're supposed to develop this thing. I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a haha funny joke. Yeah, so today we're gonna continue developing this thing, and I think I have a couple of plans for some issues here, a couple of issues for today's plan. It's the other way around. All right, so I think I need to update my project command and also title and all sorts of things. We are developing video renderer in C++. Source code https github.com Surging Vodus. Video renderer in C++. Renderer, I think I did everything correctly. Video renderer in C++ renderer. So I'm just double checking. That I didn't make any spelling mistake. All right. So. Oh yeah. Okay. So if for people who don't know what exactly we're developing here, right? So what's this Vodus thing is about? It's actually quite simple, not gonna lie. This is not what I wanted to do. Let me go there. And let me fetch the latest changes. We're gonna do proven origin. Right. So imagine that you have a chat log in a text file, right? Imagine that in 2020. And this tool essentially enables you with taking that chat log text file and turning it into a video, right, synchronize with the timestamps of the messages. That's what it does. So it actually has enough features to be like called feature complete. So right now we're pretty much just polishing it, like we're implementing some miscellaneous features, some bug fixes and stuff like that. But overall, the utility is, you know, usable, I suppose. And maybe soon we're gonna actually wrap up that project and move on to something else. I'm actually quite proud. Quite proud of this tool and how it turned out. I actually learned a lot about different libraries because we depend on different libraries that I would never try otherwise if I never tried to implement that project. So that was a good idea. Have you have a custom background like a green screen so we can then make it transparent? No, I don't have it, and I don't think it's important. Can we get a demo? That's exactly what I'm doing! I'm preparing a demo! Who would have thought? Right, who would have thought that the reason why I'm fetching the latest changes is because I want to give you a demo? Who would have thought? Okay, so let me recompile everything and I'm gonna show you how it works, okay? Okay. Alright. Will you use it for VOD's channel in case of no chat on the screen? Yes, that's pretty much the plan. The idea is that you can overlay it in some editor on top of some other video, and by making it transparent you can see what's under. I don't understand this question. Have a custom background. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, you can do that. Alright, so imagine that you have this chat log. Look at that. This is a chat log. Then you want to turn it into a video. So this is how we're going to do that. Well, this is not the official way of doing that, but this is how we do it right now. Yeah, it's gonna, yeah. So now it renders the chat. It renders the chat. And well, it's in debug version right now, so it takes some time. And this is the result of the rendering. So that was generated from that text file. Right, there's supposed to be some Unicode emojis, but we don't support them right now, so we're gonna work on that soon, probably. But yeah, that was generated from that text file. For people who wanted to see a demo, that's the demo, right? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and what else I want you to do? Yeah, demonstrate like a custom background. So we have so-called configurations, right? We have some so-called configurations, video config. And you can actually specify the color of the background. I don't remember what was the field for the configuration, but let's actually find out. So it has to be video params, I think. It's video params. Come on, load it up already, thank you so much. So, and you literally have a background color. Right, so that means I should be able to do background color, right? And I'm gonna put something here, 00FF00FF. I think the color also includes alpha, but I'm not 100% sure, we'll see. And after that, maybe we don't have to re-render like everything. I just put -b there. So it didn't crash, it actually parsed the background correctly, and that should produce the desired result. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but you can customize the font, you can customize the color of the nickname, you can customize the color of the message, you can customize the color of the background. That's why we've been working on this utility for so many months, so you can do that. All right, so mPlayer, I'll put them back, and there you go. Is that what you wanted? Hopefully that's what you wanted. So you can do that. You can even have like a hierarchy of different configs, because you can stack configs on top of each other, and the previous config sort of patches and the next config sort of patches the previous one. So you can have like a general config for all of your videos, and then small changes for different situations, and you can just stack these configs on top of each other. And that's actually quite cool in my opinion. That's actually quite cool. So, toxic. What do you mean toxic? The color is toxic? Yeah, the green color, but I mean it's for the green screen, if I understand correctly. Cheers, by the way. Can you show my paintbrush? Sure. So, okay, press B. You press B and you're looking for the set 1. So you can have several sets here. Set 2, whatever. Set 1. Delete. This one. You want this one. Delete. Right. Yep, and that's what you use. There you go. What's the background color? I mean, just gray one. I don't know, just pick a gray one. Alright, so let's continue. So I have a couple of wishes planned here. Message parsing should give more precise position of the syntax error, so that's what it needs to do. So the idea here is the following. When you make some sort of a mistake, so for example, you're referring to something, to the fields that don't exist, right? You're referring to fields that don't exist, and if you try to run this thing now, yeah, it says that you have an unknown field. Oh, we even have a Levenstein distance. Yeah, it tries to calculate the Levenstein distance between the field you suggested and tries to correct you. So maybe you meant... Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. And it doesn't really... message parsing should... no, it's the wrong one actually. Nah, I think in the config we have everything correct. So yeah, config is not a problem. Now we're talking about syntax errors inside of the log itself, because log has to comply with a certain syntax, right? The timestamp has to be within the square brackets, the nickname has to be within the angular brackets, I suppose, and so on and so forth. But if you, for example, have a syntactic error somewhere here and you try to render that, it just says incorrect timestamp, hours must be a number, and it doesn't tell you where exactly that problem happened and on which line, right? So, which is kind of annoying, and which is kind of like a usability issue for people who's gonna use this thing, and this is no bueno. So what we want to see here is error that actually says what file the problem has happened in and what exactly the line. So I think that's quite important. Does it make sense? I hope that makes sense. And that's exactly what this issue is all about, to improve the error messaging. To improve the error messaging. Okay. Also keep in mind that I have a very old MyPaint because it's a dead end, right? It's a dead end. So before we start, I really want to make a cup of tea, chat. I really want to make a cup of tea. So let's quickly do that. How everyone is doing, by the way? Does anybody have any questions, you know, while making a cup of tea? Octopus have brain in their arms. You too? That's a very good question. I have no idea what you mean, but I'm not a, you know, biologist, so I don't know for sure. Maybe I do, but I know for sure that I'm not an octopus. So at least that's what I was told. Does anybody have any other questions while making a cup of tea? Do you plan to use Vodus as part of your streaming workflow? To be fair, not anymore, since I recently started to show the chat on my streams. So, I don't know, I really want to wrap up this project as soon as possible and just move on to something else. So, essentially. But I still want to have this utility lying around in case I need it, because every time I needed it, I didn't have it. I don't need it often, but every time I need it, I don't have it. In your picture is a tentacle, so I asked. Oh, okay, so it's that thing. I even forgot that it's there. Like, sure. Something else hype. Yeah, it's gonna be something else hype. Alright, let me actually turn on my kettle real quick, and I'm gonna go back and we're gonna work on this thing. Alright. Let's find a place where we parse the messages. We'll probably parse the messages somewhere here in the file called Vodus message. Who would have thought? So we have something like parse messages from string view. And surprisingly enough, we start iterating line by line, right? Okay, cool. And this is where we chop each individual things. So, and the errors are usually reported by these utilities. Yeah, they are reported by these utilities, but the problem is that these utilities don't know what line we're in and what file we're in. That's why they cannot report it properly, unfortunately. And maybe this is something that we'll have to provide. So essentially, I'm gonna do a little bit of Emacs magic. So we're gonna pass the file path. I don't know where is the file path. Do we even know a file path? We don't even know a file path. That's very interesting. Oh yes, we do, because it's available in video params. All right, but that's kind of strange. We read the file outside of parse messages from string view, which is really strange. Like, why do we do that? Okay, why can't we do that inside? Let me see if we can do that inside. So let me find a place where we use this function. Unfortunately, I can't easily do that because something's wrong with my Emacs. All right, so I'm gonna do grep rn, and where is the place? Okay, so yeah, so here's an input, and this is where we read this entire thing. So here's the input, and we don't use that input anymore. So I have a feeling that it would be better to move reading the file into this function, right? So we do have the access to the file. Input file path. Yeah. So that's what we'll have to do. That will require renaming this entire thing into something like parse messages from file. Right, parse messages from file. And do we even need params here? I'm not quite sure if we need params here, but we'll see. So Vodus messages from file, and instead of this string view, we're gonna get something like const char file path, and this is from where we're gonna read it to. So, and what we need to do here, we need to move this entire piece of code here. Right, so we have input file path, so it's actually called input file path because that's how it's called here. We read it, then we say that we couldn't open it, and we can also defer, you know, deleting the data of this thing. As far as I know, the data is allocated with malloc, so we'll have to free it, input data like so. Maybe we'll also have to cast it to void star because this is a C++. But yeah, so, and that should work quite well, and now we even have an access to the file path, so that's quite useful. That's quite useful. 3 days. Cool. All right. So instead of input here, I'll have to provide the input file path. The input file path. So now you have 2 input file path parameters. Yes, probably. I didn't notice that. Thank you so much. Oh, that's quite interesting. Yeah, thank you, Chromosome. I for some reason I didn't notice that last one. Yeah. Man, I really need to buy new glasses. Like seriously, Jesus Christ. These ones are not working anymore. Okay, so we have messages, video params. Might as well actually just put it here because that makes a little bit more sense. And do we really need params here? Do we even use them? Yeah, we do use them for the messages limit. But apart from that, we don't really use them for anything else. So we might as well just pass the message limit. Right, and as far as I know, in the video params, by the way, thank you so much, Chromosome Drift, for actually following what I'm doing and finding problems. That's actually super cool. I really appreciate when people, you know, try to understand what I'm doing. All right. So here's an interesting thing. So message limit is maybe. So basically, limit might be missing. In that case, there is no limit to messages. So that means we'll have to pass also maybe size t messages limit. So this is how we're gonna call it. I think my tea is ready, so I'm gonna quickly brew it. Super quick. Coming. And I came. Hello everyone. Here is my tea. Mighty tea. That's not what I said. Mighty space tea. Anyways, so let's continue. Cool. So we have a message limit, and that means we can do the following thing. Right, so just something like that. If the message limit has a value, we just use that. Cool. Cool. And that actually significantly simplifies everything. Wait a second, by the way. I think I understand why I didn't do that. Because the messages will still refer to the memory that was allocated by read file as a string view. That's why whatever is allocated by a read file as a string view has to survive until the end of the program. That's why it was allocated outside. I'm an idiot. Yes. That's what happens sometime in software development. You just refactoring, and then you realize that you're a big dummy and you have to discard everything you did. So hello Mustafa Salih, welcome to the stream. So, and we already have like everything we needed. Yeah, I'm a really big dummy. So input file path, and we don't even use it anywhere. We pass it and we don't use it. And why compiler doesn't say anything about that? That's really strange. Look at that. I'm passing the parameter and the compiler doesn't say anything. Like, the compiler just says, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, it's totally fine with me, even though we did W all. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with the compiler? Apparently I'm not the only one who's a big dummy here. Also, the compiler is a big dummy. Maybe it's even bigger dummy than myself. Yeah, release actually takes a lot of time to compile, unfortunately, because a lot of optimization, a lot of code, and stuff like that. The debug build is way faster. No optimizations at all. Okay. So as you can see, it doesn't complain. What if we try to build all of that with Clang? All right, so it's going to be CC is going to be equal to Clang, and CXS is going to be equal to Clang++. So we actually, during the build, we use both C and C++ compiler. So we use C to compile stblibs with a separate compilation to speed up some of the build stuff. And the main application is built with C++ compiler. Let's see if Clang is going to tell us anything. But I think if it would say something, our CI would fail, because we have a lot of different CI configurations that check on different compilers and on different platforms. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. So it's not gonna tell us anything anyway. It's not gonna tell us anything anyway. Yes, chat. Compilers are dummies, and that's really strange. In any case, what we need to do here, we need to pass input file path to all of these things, and also preferably line number, right? Also preferably line number. There we go. So, and we're gonna use that information about file path and line number to compose a proper report. That's what we're gonna do. So the compilation has finished, I suppose. Yeah, the compilation has finished. So I think my tea is ready. Are you guys ready for a little bit of a TSMR? A little bit of TSMR. So let's quickly do that. So here is my tea, and there we go. Here's your TSMR. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. Is it getting cold there already? You mean in Novosibirsk? You can check out the weather here. Novosibirsk. It's -14. It's actually a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, because yesterday we had -17. And the wind was a little bit faster, but overall it's getting closer towards -20, and yeah, usually during the winter we have -20, -30. It's fucking crazy, and it's just Siberia, nothing special. And you've never been to Yakutsk, where -50, not 15, 50 is normal. Oh, sorry. You're pretty close actually, so yeah. What's up? It's pretty much Novosibirsk anyway, so right? So oh, there's also Omicron, yeah. So I've been in the -18 and it's Spain. It depends on the wind. It depends on the wind. With a very fast wind, like -5 could be unbearable. So wind makes everything feel colder. Oh, and also humidity. Yeah, you're right. It's also humidity. So the temperature itself is not as important as the wind and humidity. They can make things way worse. like exponentially. Plus it depends if you're used to hot. Yeah, also that. So since I was living like in Siberia for my entire life, I kind of got used to cold. So you know, and also here everyone is wearing very warm clothing. So what we need to do here, we need to accept input file path, and the line number, and we're gonna use all this information to compose a proper error message. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be done. Input file path, then this, and then the line number, right, and then like this. Might as well actually try to do something like this, because that will make it a little bit easier to copy paste, because I can just take this thing and copy paste to all of the places here. If you wear for it, yeah. I haven't worn shoes in a week. Is this because it's always warm in where you are, or this is because you never go out? I don't know. I mean, in Siberia you can also never, like, you can also not wear shoes for a week. You just don't go out, and that's easy. So, because usually like inside it's pretty warm in here. We have like a central heating system and stuff like that. So, okay, so there's also a panic here. Incorrect timestamp, millisecond must be a number. So this is where we can also do. Jesus fucking Christ, what's going on? Hello, Homie Pediator, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome. Input is gonna be like that, and Jesus. Okay, so here are all of the panics, and we're reporting everything correctly, hopefully. So what's funny here is that chop by delimiter. Oh, okay, so this thing never fails apparently, which is very strange. Look at that. Chop nickname never fails. I think it should, in my opinion. I think we should check for that. So we found a bug essentially. We found a bug. But before we're gonna fix that bug, let's check how whatever we already implemented works. Don't chop my nickname. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. So Vodus debugus. Cool. And let's try to build something. Let's try to render something as well. Okay, so it doesn't complain. So to make it complain, what we need to do here is break the file, right? As you can see, I broke the file and removed the opening square bracket. And let me try to render that one more time. And as you can see, it says a sample.txt1 incorrect timestamp. So it says exactly where the error has happened and exactly on which line. We can even try to do that on a different line, not only one, but for example, somewhere here. Right, let's try to do something like this. And if I do something like render, it says on the line 13. And the cool part about that is that tools like Emacs can recognize these things. So we can do Vodus debugus, right, and render, right. And then by clicking here, you can jump to the place where the error has happened and fix it. Cool. So that works. But you know what? It would be even cooler if it also reported the column, like the character where it happened, and I think it should be able to. It should be able to. Not using CM. Well, I'm in Emacs right now. Usually when I'm in a terminal and using Vim, only then I use CM. But since I'm in Emacs. I rather prefer using Emacs. Can you ask questions in Russian? I would not encourage you to do so because it's too much work for me first translating your question to Russian and then answering it. So I would really appreciate it if you ask questions in English, right? And yeah, this is an English speaking stream. I'm really sorry about that because majority of people in my audience speak English, and it would be kind of rude for me to like suddenly switch to Russian and people would stop understanding me. So I try to keep it English. And you asking a question in Russian is just more work for me. I'm really sorry. Okay. So I want to also calculate the column. How can we calculate the column? Essentially, we can try to take the input. We need to store the previous input. Yeah. So we need to store the original input. So origin input, like this, right? And the column is going to be essentially something like input data minus original input data. There we go. So because we consume input data, and knowing the original state, we can just basically quickly calculate the column. And that should be pretty straightforward. Let's give it a try. Let me see. I should be able to just add these things here. And then add these things here. So cool. That's very cool. What's funny is that this particular part is repeating a lot, right? You see, every time you need to report this thing, we have to repeat this part. I wonder if we can turn it into some sort of a macro, but maybe it's not going to be particularly readable. Anyways, I think we could have something. Okay, so if I go to sample and, for example, I introduce like an error like here, instead of colon, we're gonna have this weird symbol, and let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, obviously I forgot to put colon here in space. I can't speak English. Don't worry about that. I also can't speak English. Nobody can speak English. Don't even worry about that. Okay, so it has to be like, okay, this. And that should be okie dokie a karaoke, I think. Okay, so now it says sample.txt 11.9. So you see the second number is the column. So we have line and the column. Incorrect number. Okay. Well, it kind of reports it more or less properly. But now, oh shit, that's pretty strange. Okay, so let's not do that then. I think we're calculating it completely incorrect. Why is it like that? Wait, what? Oh, this is because we never actually expect. Okay, that's dumb. That's dumb. Yeah. Okay, so let's not do that. At least for now. So at least for now. All right, cool. Because to have more or less like proper error messaging, we have to first check that we start with this thing. Yeah. Well, that will require rewriting a lot of things. When I clicked on your channel to watch, it said that this content is for mature audience. What? Lol. Yeah, that's exactly why. Yeah, that's actually correct, because I fucking swear from time to time, and that's why it's a mature audience. So if you're under 18, get the fuck out of here, okay? So it's a mature audience only. All right. So this message parsing fucking sucks. It doesn't let me print nice messages. Coquelin, very mature audience. Yes, this stream is intended for mature audience because I have a lot of immature jokes, which is kind of a paradox, but it is what it is. C++ is for mature audience. Yes, exactly. Legacy code may be too mature for some kids. The warning can little sway. Yes, exactly. So maybe we should rewrite this parsing so we can have nice error messages. Little swearing. Why little? It's like little Indian and big Indian, like little swearing and big swearing. Anyways, so since I don't really have much else to do, I might as well just re-implement the parsing of this thing and make it more friendly to good error messages. I think that's a good idea. Shut. So what we need to parse here essentially is this timestamp, right? How would you parse this timestamp? First of all, so I keep the original input just in case I need to calculate the column. So I need to trim the beginning of the input, right? So we're gonna allow any spaces here, right? We're gonna allow any spaces. The next thing we need to do, if that's quite important, if input count equals 0, right? So that means the line is empty. Or input data not equal opening curly brace. We're gonna report an error. We're gonna fucking panic. So how we're gonna do that? We'll have to provide input file path, then this thing, then regex. Who's talking about regexes? Who needs to be banned? Regex are banned. I'm just joking, they're not. I don't know why I'm saying that. So then we take the original input, data, minus the input data. That's how we're gonna do that. And after that, what we're gonna say? We're gonna say that expected this thing, right? So, and this is gonna be the way we report the error messages, right? This is gonna be the way we report error messages. I wish I could define functions within the functions. Is that a thing you can do in C++? Can I define functions within the functions in C++ according to the standard? Or is that an extension? Because I really want to have that. Damn the only cat, fucking damn it. But I mean, shit. So the thing is, lambdas that don't capture anything can be compiled down to actual functions. But for me, to make them useful, I will need capture something. I will need to capture at least input file, line number, and so on and so forth. But on top of that, I want lambda to be with variadic templates. Is it possible in C++ to have a variadic template lambda? Or am I asking for too much? I feel like I'm asking for too much. I really want to be able to do that. Because I want to extract, like, I want to have like a special panic that automatically adds this thing for me. So I don't have to do that. Can I have something like that without using macros? I know that I can probably use macros, but... Let's have a macro, okay. Okay, so I see Craftwork. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Craftwork. So we can have a macro. Oh, Funk Chi, what's up? People always complain about template complexity and then ask for that. Anyway, so, but I'm not doing anything complex. I'm not doing anything complex. I just want to have, you know, type safe variadics. I don't really. So the fact that it's implemented through the templates in C++ is completely coincidental, in my opinion. I don't really need templates in this case. I just need type safe variadics. That's it. So I don't care if it's implemented through templates or whether it's implemented through monads or whatever. I don't care. I just need type safe variadics. I used variadic macros in TLCI also for panicking. Yeah, I see. So, my point is that I'm not asking for more template complexity. So, hello, Jappy Jappy, welcome to the streamus. Welcome, 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 welcome. So, okay. So let's continue. So let's introduce a thing called syntax error, right? And we're gonna accept VA args. I forgot how to do that, by the way. Okay, so it's gonna be C variadic macros. So I just need an example. I use them quite often. Oh, okay, so it has to be this thing. Yeah, it has to be like this. And then I'm gonna do panic. Let's call it syntax panic. I kind of like it a little bit better. Syntax panic. So, and we're gonna put this thing here like this, right? And then VA args, right? It's VA args like this. Cool. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty goddamn cool. So, so I might as well actually make it like this. But since it's a macro, well, yeah, we need to always keep in mind that this is a macro. That's why I'm going to actually call it with capital letters. So I can say something like expected, something like this, and I'm going to remove that. Look at that beauty. Look at that beautiful, beautiful code. And at the end of the function, where we're done with all of that madness, we can undefine it to not pollute the macroscope. Right? To not pollute the macroscope. Microscope. Macroscope. Haha. Okay, so after that, we'll need to drop a single character. So it's gonna be something like chop 1, boom. So what I'm thinking about is, do we have something like take while in string view? That would be actually super cool in my opinion. So let me see. So I'm using aids. Which aids I'm using, by the way? So I'm using the latest one. Yeah, I think I'm using the latest one because this one has a hash map. So struct string view. So chop. You can chop a word. I see. So you know what I want to have? You know what I want to have? I want to have chop while. Right. String view chop while that accepts a function. Something like boolean predicate that takes a character. I hope this is a correct syntax, and essentially it will collect these characters until this predicate is true, right? And then split the string view into like this prefix that satisfies the predicate and the rest of it. And the rest of it is going to be this. So this is going to stay as the rest of it. So that's what I want to have here. And that should enable me with the following thing. So after I did that, I want this thing to be something like input chop while is digit. Something like this. See what I'm talking about? Jiang is back, champion of the arena. So I'm so sorry, Jiang, but I couldn't find a better way to do that. By the way, do you know if it's possible to have variadic template lambdas in C++? I think it is not possible. I think it's not a thing. Oh shit! Is that C++ 17? Okay, so let's take a look at that then. C++ variadic templates lambda. Okay. How to create a variadic generic lambda? It's not even template, it's generic. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, let's do that, I suppose. Thank you so much. Auto syntax panic. Alright. So, and what we want to capture here is a file path. Let's just capture everything, right? So let's just fucking capture everything. And here we're gonna have auto args, and that means I can just take this entire thing. I wish I could do something like that. Yesu, kawai desu. And then I can do something like args. Is it triple? Yeah, I think it's a triple thingy. Yeah, and then I can unpack it into here. Yes, and yeah, that's actually cool. Thank you so much. Compile time goes up. Yeah, exactly. Compile time goes up. So yeah. Args. Yeah. I keep forgetting where exactly you have to put these things to unpack properly. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, GM. Got C++ cooler. You're the god C++ cooler. I'm no, that's for sure. Okay. I also want this thing to be constant, by the way, so nobody can modify it. And it stays constant. Okay. So let me remove that. I want to check if this entire stuff compiles still. So it's going to be make vodus debugus. This will have same compile time as flag. For how long flags compiles? I don't even know. Maybe we should actually check out flags on the stream. Yeah, that's definitely something we'll have to do. So row timestamp. Ah shit! All of that is actually broken, so I have to comment everything out and just return 69. Let's just return 69. C++ is suffering. Not really. Is it really suffering if you enjoy it? Think about it. Anyways, I don't think so. Okay, overall, by the way, overall this shit compiles. Thank you so much. This compiles. Let's do -b. It doesn't really take that much time, right? So it's already done. Okay, so what we need to implement here, we need to implement the aids thingy that does chop while, right? That does chop while. So we'll have to keep track of a result. Result is initially pointing at, so count in result is 0, but the data points at the data, right? Okay, maybe it's not that useful, so maybe we can just do a size t 0. While count is I is less than count and data I predicate true, we increment I. Alright, after that we have to chop everything accordingly. So do we have the chop? God damn it, this chop is not really convenient, because I would really hope that chop would also return something. Unfortunately, it doesn't return anything, whatever. But we can try to use subview, right? We have subview that accepts the start and the size. So this is something that we'll have to return. It has to be a result. Hello, apparently potatoes. Welcome to the streamers, really glad to see you. And after that we can chop this amount of characters here and simply return the result. So this is what I want to have in AIDS. Don't be like STL, make pop back return a value. Well, I mean, I implemented chop back and chop long time ago when I didn't think about ergonomics, and maybe that's the similar mistake the C++ committee did. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, but maybe I'm gonna fix it in the poop back. Well, you can do that if you're gonna stand on your hands. I'm sorry. That's alright, whatever. Anyways. So that should work, hopefully. Let's try to compile that. We bound with backward compatibility, and not really. Not really. Python doesn't care. Just be like Python, say fuck you to everyone, and just release a new, like a major version that is not compatible with huge, like, code base. With a huge legacy code base. They don't care. Fuck that. Oh, by the way, hello Belgian. Well, I don't remember if I say hello to you, but hello, really glad to see you. Huge code base, yes. Vodus messages. Vodus messages. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do here. Input, chop, while. So people still using Python 2 then? Yeah, they still do use Python 2. There's like a lot of legacy code that is still written in Python 2, and it's too much effort to actually convert it to Python 3. So yeah, even though Python 2 is not supported, I wonder if somebody at some point is gonna just actually take an initiative to fork Python 2 and keep supporting it, keep maintaining it, and fixing the security vulnerabilities and stuff like that. I could see that happening, actually. I could see that happening. So I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Is digit returns integer, so this might not actually work. But we can always just wrap it into... Okay, so let's try to compile it and see if it works. Is digit. Then after that, as integer, you can convert it into integer as integer. Right, as integer. Mr. T, are you using Python 2 now? No, I'm using C++. But to be fair, every time I need Python, I just run Python and it starts Python 2, because that's what I use by default in my Debian stable. And I also have Python 3. Every time I need Python 3, I just have to do this kind of thing. But by default, Python 2, because Debian. So, and after that, what I want to do here is I want to convert this to a timestamp integer, right? Something like this. Actually, I have to do it like uint64_t. And this returns me a maybe. That returns me a maybe that I need to unwrap. So I'll have to do unwrap or panic. But this one is not convenient because it's not a syntax panic, so maybe we'll need to create another function, something like unwrap or syntax panic. Unwrap or syntax panic. Is that a good idea, Jen? I think it's a good idea, whatever. Do I care if it's a good idea or not? I'm having fun, right? Does it really fucking matter if it's a good idea if you're just having fucking fun? Am I right? Am I fucking right? That's what's important, right? Why is it so important to have fun, right? If you have fun, that means you will have more motivation to actually do things, so that means you can do more things, right? It's very important. Your mental state is very important, so it's important to have fun, right? Okay. Unwrap or panic. So we're gonna have something similar here. So essentially, what we're gonna accept here is it possible to have something like maybe out? Young, please tell me that this is possible. Please tell me it's possible. Oh, god fucking damn it. Okay. Just make it out. Okay. That would be cool, but I mean, fair enough. If maybe it doesn't have a value, I'll have to do a syntax panic. Syntax panic. Args. Right, so this is a syntax panic, args, otherwise return a return maybe value. So, and maybe that will work. Unwrap. And by the way, is it possible to mark a lambda as non-return? I will also throw lots of error if you use it wrongly though. Yeah, that's fucking classic. Speaking of, yeah, something like that would be cool. So I quite often in aids use this attribute, no return. Is it possible to somehow use this thing like here for lambda? I wonder. Is that a thing you can do? I don't think so. So I need to upgrade my Ubuntu, which good luck by the way. Like I never successfully upgraded Ubuntu. Because every time I needed to upgrade Ubuntu, I just reinstalled it. Like I never did that successfully. So, but that was a long time ago. I haven't used Ubuntu for a while. Oh, you did it 2 times. You're a 2-time champion. Nice. Oh yeah, successfully upgrading Ubuntu is a fucking miracle. Not gonna lie. Successfully, that joke, yeah. If panic is marked on return, compiler might be. I'm using GCC, so no. Whatever, I don't think it's that important. I see a line overflowing and wrapping into the next line. Is that something wrong? Does it bother you? Do you want to tell me more about it? Can you elaborate on that? Alright, so what do we have here? So unwrap or syntax panic. That's what I want to have here. Unwrap or syntax panic. So, and what we're gonna put here is essentially incorrect timestamp hours not be integer. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, boy. GCC in the worst case will just yeah, I saw that. That's where did you find that example, by the way? Where did you find it? Did you find it yourself, or is it something? On the Bugzilla. Could you please give me a link? I really want to show that on the stream. It's fucking awesome. I really want to show it on the stream for people who didn't see that. Just search it for ISC segfault. Okay, GCC ISC segfault. This is fucking insane. And I have a very old compiler. That means this thing existed there for quite some time, apparently. Gentoo. Yeah, that one, I think. Consider the following snippet. Yeah. Let's try to compile this shit. So main CPP. Alright. So, and I suppose, I wonder if it's gonna work with no flags or anything. Yeah, there we go. You see how easy it is to set fault GCC? Fucking classic. What's funny is that I think Clang is gonna actually be completely okay with that. Yeah, it's completely okay with that. Why? I don't know. Apparently it's like a really old problem of GCC. It'll just sick fault on you, yeah. Superior compiler, yeah. I think Clang is definitely winning in this war. War of the compilers. I have a lot of garbage here. A out, and let's also remove this shite. Okay, let's continue. So, oh yeah, that's a good one. Actually, like one time when I was programming in NIM on the stream, I actually managed to like kill my entire setup and kill my entire stream with NIM. When I was trying to do some heavy computations in NIM during compile time, it consumed the whole memory of my machine and I had to hard reset it. That was fun. I don't start doing Ubuntu because GNOME shell causes memory leaks into... Oh yeah, so my experience with GNOME 3 is quite sad because essentially software rots very quickly over several months, right? So over several months it's essentially becomes slower and slower and more sluggish, and I have no idea why. So some sort of like software rot or gunk accumulates there, maybe in some files or something, and it just becomes unusable over time. So yeah, that's kind of sad. That is kind of sad, my friends. Software rot. Yeah, software rot is a thing actually, I've never heard about it. Software gore. No, I'm talking about software rot. Yeah, it's really a thing. Bit rot or code rot. So is either a slow deterioration of software quality over time or its diminishing responsiveness that will eventually lead to software becoming faulty, unusable, or in need of upgrade. So for example would be, for example, Windows Register. Over time it gets slower and slower and more fragmented or something like that. I'm not using Windows, I don't know exactly how it works, but it is a thing actually. It is a thing. Like, and it happens over like extended periods of time. Registry, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. So incorrect timestamp, blah blah blah, and let's see if this entire thing compiles. Oh, it doesn't compile. I'm not compiling the right thing. So it's going to be make minus b. What is it? Vodus? It's Vodus debuggus. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't even compile, but at least it doesn't seek fault. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. We expect Boolean char, but is digit from the libc is integer. But we can wrap it into a lambda, which accepts a char, and we can just return... maybe we don't even have to return it, but I don't know, I don't program in C++, so I don't know for sure. Maybe we can try to do something like this. Let's see if it's gonna compile. Alright, so invalid. Oh my god. Alright, that's exactly what you were talking about, I suppose. Just cast the function pointer. I think it's too dangerous. Alright, so invalid user-defined conversion from chop lambda to boolean. Huh. That is really strange, but this is a lambda that doesn't... Yeah, I have to have explicitly bool, and maybe that will do the trick. Please work. Oh shit, I think it worked. I think it worked. Thank you. And yeah. Yeah, it returns integer, and that's exactly why it didn't work properly. That's exactly why why I need to wrap it into a lambda. That's precisely why. But now it works. And I'm super happy about it. So we can also do something like, you know, let's take this entire lambda and put it here. Is digit with underscore, right? So I'm gonna put it like that. Yep. And maybe I can make it even a little bit more readable. There we go. Is digit. Alright. So that's cool. So input chop while is digit, and then I'm trying to represent it as an integer, and if I cannot do that, it will throw a syntactic panic, and it will also report me everything. So that's kind of cool. Alright. Afterwards, we need to check for this thing. So we are expecting colon, right? And if we don't see a colon, we're gonna throw a syntactic panic saying expected colon, and after that we can chop it out. There we go. All right, so we already parsed ours. And this is, by the way, ours. This is ours. So this is ours. Now we need to chop minutes, and chopping minutes is actually similar. After we chopped that, we just do the similar thing. Not minus, but minutes. There we go. Then we're chopping this thing yet again, and look at how we are repeating the same condition over and over again. This is kind of suspicious. Can we extract that to a separate thingy? I think we could try to do something like more lambdas here. I'll put expect char, where we're gonna accept the character. Right, and we're gonna put that condition here, right? So, and the char that we're comparing is gonna be this one, x, and then we can just split this thing and put x here. Yeah, it's gonna be syntactic panic, and now what I can do here, I can replace this thing with just expect char, this thing like that. Then here expect colon, then here expect colon. Look at that, that's actually beautiful. That's actually super beautiful. I really like that. Maybe we can even extract that to, yeah. So we keep rising the level of abstraction, as you can see. I can see, Jiang, that you like what I'm doing, right? Starting to reboot. Okay, good luck, by the way, good luck. Do you have Unicode support for Cyrillic characters? Yes, I do. Believe it or not, thanks to AIDS. So we have Unicode support in AIDS. You can actually decode UTF-8, and you can also encode UTF-8. Thanks to AIDS. I mean, it's the name of the library. Look at this beautiful code. Look at that. Look at that. So essentially, yeah. I like that. It encodes UTF-8 from the code point. So this is like masks. You can see what parts of the code it extracts and then shifts back. And I really like how it looks like. I don't know why. I think it's kind of cool. A little bit masking. Yeah. All right. So, and now we need to do the same thing, but with the seconds, right? With the seconds. Seconds, and here is the seconds, and milliseconds is going to be another interesting thing. So expect char, unwrap, or syntax panic. That's a lot of stuff. Wow, what's the topic for this coding? We're trying to parse a chat log that looks like this, right? So yeah, we are parsing each individual message, and we're parsing it in the following fashion so we can report a nice error messages. Wrong land is for expect chat, by the way. Oh yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, so expect char, and it really feels like we need to extract that as well. Expect char. Let's do something like this. Auto expect number. And yeah, we're not gonna accept anything, I think, and we're gonna return uint64t, and essentially we're gonna just take this one and we can say something like expected number. Right, so input char is digit blah blah blah, expect number, and that should be as simple as expect number. Oh my god, I'm gonna actually cum. Isn't that epic actually? Look at that. I know Jiang likes that. Look at that shit. Oh fuck. So that actually boils down like quite nicely with these helpers and shit. Expect. Did I misspell it? I don't think I misspell it, to be fair. I don't. You don't like it? Well, it's understandable. So, like, you have to keep in mind that I'm Haskeller, right? I'm experienced developer, and I know why Haskell may not be good for like everything, but I still, down to my like core, I'm still Haskeller, I'm still intellectual masturbator, and this thing kind of excites me still, even though I was burned by it so many times, but still I fucking love it. What parser are you writing here? I don't know what you're talking about. It's just a recursive descent. Alright. So, after that, I suppose we'll need to check optionally for a dot. Right. So this one is going to be a little bit more complicated. By the way, does it compile? I didn't even check if it compiles or not. That's quite important. Input count. Input was not captured. Ah, so for this, motherflippers will have to capture them. Okay, unwrap is not captured. Yeah, so we'll have to capture all that. I wonder how much inefficient code is gonna generate. Like, I just wonder. Is it even, like, can compiler even properly optimize all of that? Or is it gonna just create shit ton of objects with methods and stuff like that? Maybe it can, because it has a lot of information at compile time. Maybe it will know how to inline things and so on and so forth. Probably, we'll see. So, no return. Oh yeah, that's actually cool. Thank you for telling me, Mr. Compiler. And we have unused variables, and that's totally okay. That's totally okay. And now what we're looking for, Jesus Christ, is an optional dot. That's what we're looking for. It's supposed to be an optional dot. So if input count is greater than 0 and input data equal to dot, we go into that. Theoretically, it is a standard compliant, I think, for the compiler to just store a pointer to the stack frame and use blackmagic to refer to the outer scope. I don't know if Registers is that smart. Well, yeah, maybe. So it's going to be future-proof. Maybe in the future somebody's going to compile that with a smarter compiler, and magically this entire shit code is going to become fast. That's what C++ people keep telling to themselves. Can you write a syntax that looks like optional is number? I have no idea what you mean by that, but maybe you can. I don't know yet because I haven't implemented that functionality. Maybe once we implement that functionality, it will be obvious how to introduce that. But for now, I don't think so. Let's let the abstractions to emerge themselves out of the chaos of spaghetti, right? So this is how, by the way, I design my code. I just pile spaghetti on top of each other as much as I can, and then from that pile of spaghetti the architecture starts to emerge, and I just abstract it away and it becomes beautiful and nice. So this is how it works. So I cannot see what kind of abstractions I'm gonna have up front. I just throw spaghetti and then the architecture becomes more and more visible. Then pour delicious sauce. I need to launch, yeah, proper technique. Yeah, it actually works. Unlike all of these like bullshit philosophies of decomposing into objects that communicate, this works. This shit actually works. Because the architecture becomes visible over time as you put more and more spaghetti. Unfortunately, for that technique to work, you have to have a lot of experience to not get overwhelmed by amount of spaghetti, right? Because new people get really overwhelmed and scared and just, you know, restart from scratch. But once you have enough experience and you can manage spaghetti, it becomes quite useful a technique. That sounds pretty agile, Scrum. Okay. Depends on the definition, I suppose. Why are you parsing? Just use YAML. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Lost Algorithm? I only noticed you now. I'm sorry. Hello. How are you doing? So here's the thing. So this is an optional dot. This is an optional dot, and we want to chop it. I'm going to do chop. So we're going to chop one thing here. After that, I want to do input chop while is digit, and then I'm going to convert that to. I'm not even sure if I want to convert it like that. Yeah. I think we're gonna do it like this. So is digit while it is digit. We know that it is digit. Yeah, so I'm gonna save that to a separate like a row m seconds, right? It's gonna be a row m seconds, and I'm gonna set milliseconds to uint64t, or maybe even timestamp, because timestamp is exactly milliseconds, so it's gonna be like that. So this is like a m seconds, not really row, but straight up str, and I can try to iterate through this entire thing. I'm gonna iterate starting from this to 3, and if I is less than m seconds count, not chop please, but count, we're going to do the following thing. We don't even need to check for is digit because we know for sure it's a digit because of chop while is digit. So it's going to be m seconds multiplied by 10 plus m seconds string data I minus 0. So this is how I convert a character to an actual number, and I just stack them on top of each other. And otherwise here, if we ran out of these things, we're gonna top them with just 10. So that's pretty much it. This is how we calculate them. And after that, what we have to oh my god, I lost everything. I lost my algorithm. Haha. Sorry. All right, and after that, I can just do that. Yes, sir. And this approach can actually generate, probably in theory, quite good of error messages. We'll see how it goes, but that requires a lot of helpers that can only exist within the scope of this function, unfortunately. So that's kind of sad. but it's okay. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so let's try to compile that, and about first try. Okay, so let's take a look at the example here. So let's see if I didn't break anything. Let's try to render something here. Is it gonna render? Okay, so it parsed everything correctly, so at least the timestamps got parsed correctly, otherwise it wouldn't be 14 seconds, right? It knows that it's 14 seconds because it analyzed the timestamps correctly. Let's take a look at the result, and everything looks okay. So far I don't see any anomalies with parsing. This is exactly the chat log that we were working with. And now I'm gonna try to introduce some syntactical errors here. For example, try to use like this symbol instead of something else, right? So, and if we try to make -b render, right, make -b render. Duck of Doom, what's up? Welcome, haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Look at that. Expected, but it actually parsed columns incorrectly. But yeah, it said expected column here. So let me take a look if I did everything correctly. Let me take a look if I did everything correctly. So I think I'm calculating columns incorrectly. So this is the original. Yeah, they have to be the other way around, because input data is bigger or equal to the original input. So let's give it a try. Pepegazozin, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired, a little bit old. Okay, and if I click here, look at that. It almost points at the precise position, so I think we also need to do +1, so to make it super precise. So now look, I click here, and it points at that symbol here. Isn't that fucking epic? And it tells you expected column. Hello, Darius, welcome to the stream. Oh, that's what I'm going for. Seriously, that's what I'm going for. We can put something else here. This is actually gonna work, so let's put something like that. It probably increases the compilation, but yeah, it says expected. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty close. Are you doing Advent of Code? Yes, we actually solved the first problem at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, we need to do expected that or that, but I'm not sure how to pull that off properly. So let me see. Test it with an invalid hour, like 25. I think it will work. It's actually valid hour. 25 is a valid hour because it's a timestamp since the beginning of the stream. So that just means that 25 hours passed since the beginning of the stream. You can have 50 hours. You can have 69 hours. That just means that 69 hours has passed since the beginning of the stream. So I don't see anything wrong here. Maybe something with minutes. 69 hours. Everybody's doing 24-hour streams, but imagine doing 69-hour stream. I think somebody like Van Darkholm should make a 69-hour stream. I'm sure he'll be able to pull that off. He's pretty old, but at the same time, he's in really good shape. So, Twitch disconnects on 48 hours. God damn! I didn't know that. Okay, so seems pretty cool, and I think we are ready to. Oh yeah, we also need to add that shit to the aids. So this is gonna be 28, and let's see what are the latest aids. The Rexium. So what's the latest aids? 28. Okay, so that means I can just try to go ahead and copy paste those aids here. And let's do the release. Do we have while? the chop while, everything looks okay. 29. Yep, 0, 29, 0. So what did we introduce? Chop while. Oh, what's up, old man? Welcome back. 29, there we go. String 0. Okay, so that's a cool signature. Not gonna lie. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. When are you adds to Conan? I don't know how to do that. I mean, but I'm totally okay if somebody else is gonna add it to Conan. So yeah, feel free to add it to Conan if you want to. I don't know how to do that because I just personally don't use it. I used it once, but haven't used it for a while. Maybe add type dev bool predicate char. But why? I don't really see the need for it right now. Maybe to help people to cast their functions to have a nice okay, that's a good point. Sure, let's add it then. Yeah, because the pointer, function pointer signature is actually pretty much cancer, so yeah, I think it makes sense. Type def, but this is C++. Can we do a C++ style one? Predicate char. Predicate char, something like. Is that a thing you can do? Is this how we do that? I wonder. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we can try to build the tests, and the test will probably tell us if we did a fucky wacky. No, so far it works okay. Alright. Okay. So let me unstage that. So, and I'm gonna try to copy it back to Vodus. Let's try to copy back to Vodus. src and so this is 29th, and let's try to rebuild that with the signature, with the proper signature. What happened to 27? Didn't you see the stream when we did that? So the thing was, I made like a huge mistake and I made a release, and to fix that mistake I had to do backward incompatible changes. But since the release was so quick, I decided to basically revert that release and say it never happened, so I never have to maintain backward compatibility for that release. I'm a professional software developer, I know how to do this kind of stuff. So the release was out for a couple of minutes, so I think nobody actually started to depend on that specific version of 8, so I think it's okay. Alright, so you started. God damn it, I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do about it at this point. Alright, so let's continue. Let's do the release. Let's do the release. For some reason, I don't understand why, but I take backward compatibility for AIDS very, very seriously, even though I'm the only one who's using it. So I'm sort of like in a mindset of fake it until you make it. So I treat this library like everybody's using it, right? But the reality is I'm the only one who's using it, but maybe eventually somebody's gonna start using it. Well, not until I will make it usable, we'll see. Alright, so let's do this kind of thing. Wait a second. Did I fetch the latest changes? Did I fetch the latest changes? Oh shit, it's not the latest 8s. Okay. I already had 29 threes. I already had 29 threes where I added the destructor for dynamic things. Okay, so we'll have to do it like that. So I'm gonna actually pop this thing, and that will cause the merge conflicts, but that's okay because we're gonna fix them. Right, so that's actually quite easy to fix in my opinion. Yeah. So we're gonna remove that, remove that. Yep. And this one is gonna be 30. Would you look at that? 30. A boomer release. A boomer release, literally. Actual boomer release. On both, welcome. How are you doing? Really glad to see you. Anabosu-sama. Welcome. Yeah. So we'll have to do the following thing. It's gonna be 30. Cool. Okay, so this is 30, this is 30. I think I can remove that stash and then go to the tests, rebuild everything just in case. Okay, everything is working, and I think we're ready to rock and roll the release. Yeah, boy. Release. And we're gonna put it like that. And the latest version of release of AIDS is finally released. There we go. There we go. So check out the latest version of AIDS. It is finally released. You can use it, you can depend on it, unless I cancel that release. Again. Hopefully I won't have to do that. I think I didn't make that mistake this time. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't break-in changes allowed without bumping major version if you haven't had a release with Semver? I mean, I don't think it matters. So I don't think like phrasing of that question is correct. Basically, if you have backward incompatible changes, you have to increment major version regardless of what the current version. Right, it doesn't matter if it's 0, it doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 69. If you made in the current release backward incompatible change, you have to increment major version. So I don't think the current version is not that important. So what's important is that you have to increment it. Not when major version is 0, major 0. Oh, well, okay, so that means I'm not following Semver. Then I'm following my modification of Semver. Hello, Fede96M4. Welcome. To be fair, like for me personally, it doesn't matter. If it matters for Semver for some reason, I don't care. Like it just doesn't matter for me. Okay, so Zozin Vodus, and let me copy here. And I'm gonna copy paste this thing here, and yep, it seems to be replaced successfully. And let me try to build that thing, specifically Vodus debug, one more time, just to confirm that everything's okay. And we're gonna do a committee. Okay. Like it never happened. It's funny. Oh shit, I'm not in the right branch. 153. There we go. 53, upgrade AIDS 0280. Yeah, rest in peace 27th version. Now we have a boomer release. He's following somewhere, though he doesn't have to introduce breaking changes. Okay. Okay, and here's the thing. Yep. So, excuse me. 153. Improve error messages in shop timestamp. There we go. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So yeah, so around here we have absolutely beautiful error messages, right? So if you make any mistake here, it will just tell you that you did a fucky wacky exactly here. We can even test it out, right? So I'm gonna just break something and I'm gonna just try to render it. And let's just wait. Boomer, zoomer, coomer, no, cooder. Cooder is way better. Yeah, there we go. So it says expected colon here, and it actually points at that exact place, and everything works. So that's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, that's what I call a proper UX. A proper UX. So let's go back to the messages and let's fix that for nicknames. Right, for nicknames, we have to do like a very similar thing. 30 years old cooder using 30 years old compiler. Okay, sure about it. So what we need to have here is like similar things. I need syntax panic. I actually need to keep this thing around as well. Right, I need to keep track of the original input and also keep track of the also have like syntax panic, so because it reports the nice messages, that's what it does. After that I'll have to trim this entire thing. Those in AIDS 1.0 when I accumulate enough deprecated things. I want to use 8 in my multi-million-dollar company. Okay. So, alright, so I'm gonna answer that question actually properly. So here's the thing. Over time, I deprecate some things. Deprecate. There we go. So I actually, like, over time I noticed that some of the data structures or some of the functions are not really that useful or could be redesigned a little bit, and I basically deprecate them. So I'm gonna keep deprecating them until I accumulate enough deprecated things. And the next major release is going to be essentially the same as the previous version, but with everything deprecated removed. So this is going to be the approach that I'm going to pursue for this specific library, which is kind of cool. So that makes upgrading between major versions is super easy. What you do, you upgrade to the previous version before the major release, fix all of the warnings caused by deprecated, and then switch to the major one, and it just works. So that's the answer. But the question is, what's this threshold for the amount of deprecated things? I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. Does it make sense? So I think it's a pretty cool approach, because it gives like a sort of more or less like rigid criteria on when to do a major release, because a lot of people just don't know when to do the major release. Well, I'm gonna do that when we have enough deprecated functions or data structures, and we can say maybe like 20 or 10. I love how Pepega deprecation system is in C++. Yes, it is actually. It is actually very Pepega. Okay, so let's continue. So, and I really want to document everything what I just said right now, but I still cannot find time. Right, I want to document like the way I manage the versions for the 8s and the way how we're gonna upgrade to major ones. Wish I had time. Anyways, so we're gonna do trim begin here. Okay, there we go. What the fuck am I doing here, by the way? I just realized that I'm in a completely wrong place. Just make the threshold 1 when you can have major version 69 like row. Yeah. Very funny. To be fair, I think you're right. I think the amount of deprecated things shouldn't be too high. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for people to upgrade between major versions. Right? Imagine that you have 20 things. and you upgrade into the previous version before Major 1, and look at the amount of things you have to fix to upgrade. My god, it's gonna be insane, and nobody's gonna do that. Okay, so that pretty much means that maybe we have to do the major release soon, like pretty much right now. Yeah, so I think threshold could be 1, 2, or 3 deprecated things. Alright, I'm gonna do that after I finish that issue. We'll see. We'll see. I need to finish this thing. I don't really want to switch the scope. I want to upgrade from cause 27, but it doesn't exist. God damn it. Just set a deadline. I'll remove the old release in 3 days. Upgrade the software. God damn it, people. Alright. So we need to chop the nickname. So let's go back. Yeah, I need this thing. So syntax panic, expect character. Do we need to have anything else? I don't think so. So essentially, what I need here is expect char. This thing. Right. After that, I need to do input chop while char x boolean x not equal this thing, and this is gonna be nickname. This is a nickname, and after that I expect character this, and I'm going to just return nickname. So this is going to be the new way of handling all that. This is going to be the new way of handling all that. And by the way, we also need to accept the input file path and the line number. The line number. Okay. So let me actually build Vodus debug instead of rendering, because I don't want to have any. You have expect to. Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. Alright, but it doesn't compile anyway. No, because I don't provide this thing here. Cool. Nice. Is it gonna do the thing? I think it's doing the thing. My god. Would you look at that? So now it should complain if, for example, instead of pointy boys here, I'm gonna have like curly braces. Let's actually see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna try to do a render, and please tell me that I did a fucky wacky and possibly an oopsie doopsie. Yeah. Oh shit. It didn't calculate properly anything. Why the fuck it didn't calculate anything properly? I'm actually super surprised. So here's the input file. Shop nickname. Excuse me. I'm confused. What the fuck? Input was already chopped by timestamp, but that's the point. Okay, I would understand if there's something wrong with the column. You're a liar. Sojin asked me to I don't know what you're talking about, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what the fuck is going on and why line number is not correct. Why line number is not correct? So first, at least line number should be correct, but it doesn't. It isn't. Your origin is chopped input. Okay, but that will affect only column. But it shouldn't affect the line, but it affected the line. That's the problem. So I'm okay with column being incorrect. Okay, so I accept that. So I did a fucky wacky, sure. But why the line is incorrect? Because line is the same for everyone. And it's just not. So this is the message because it's a single line. Okay, I can do the following thing. I can remove the column. Alright, I can remove the column. I don't know why, because it's going to be the same anyway. So, so, and it's still first one, even though it has to be here. I don't know what is going on. I literally don't understand what's going on. Okay. GDB time. I don't know how to GDB that. To be fair, I don't know how to GDB that. Okay, I have an idea. We can print line that. We can print line to that and std out and just simply line number, and we'll see what's gonna happen here. So let's just try to do a render, and we'll see on which line we're gonna fail. It did in fact fail. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm an idiot. It's correct, actually. It is in fact correct. The thing here, I forgot to trim this entire thing. Oh my god, I wasted so much time on the fact that I forgot to trim my goddamn... Oh my god, this is so bad. I'm really getting tired. Yeah, so I just forgot this simple thing. Like, and that's why I spent so much time debugging all of that, because I forgot to fucking trim at the beginning. God damn it. This is the ultimate software development experience. And there we go. So it expected that, and as you can see, it fails here exactly. Cool. So, and it actually should print a space here. How can we properly calculate a column? That's a good question. So this is the input. We can pass a regional input here as well. Yes, essentially origin input. We can just pass it here, and we don't have to put it here as well. But it's already chopped, so it's gonna be kind of complicated, but I think it's gonna worth it because it will create better error messages. I think it's gonna worth it. So let me take this syntax panic. And I'm gonna put it here. Right, I'm gonna put it here. And let's see. So I want to actually make it the last argument, so it's a little bit easier to put it like that. Right, there we go. So, and let's try to compile that. So in here I have to provide the original, but we don't really have the original. So let's call it origin message, and then we're gonna have string view message, origin message. So we're gonna have this kind of thing here, and then I should be able to do origin message here. So that will be a little bit better, hopefully. And look at that. It tells us exactly, precisely where the fucky-wacky happens. That's exactly what I was trying to achieve. So you see, it precisely tells us you did a fucky-wacky here, so you can fix that, and then it will work. So yeah, essentially, basically, I just keep track of the original line. Right, I keep track of the original line. And we can do kind of a similar thing for the rest of the parser. So instead of calculating origin input ourselves, we can pass that origin input here, and just don't worry about it. So it's going to be like similar for everyone. So for calculating columns, it kind of complicates it a little bit, but I think it's worth it, and maybe we can improve that later. Hopefully, we'll see. So I'm gonna do the render, and yeah, I'll probably have to also remove the debug output with lines. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The debug output with lines. We don't need these lines anymore. Right, so that's cool. That's cool. I really like that. Now, so improve error messages in chop nickname. That's exactly what we did here. 153. Improve error messages in chop timestamp. Let's push that right into the repo, and let's actually rebuild absolutely everything. Let's rebuild like the whole thing, just to make sure that it works correctly. So it's going to take some time, of course, because release build takes a lot of time. It would also be quite great to run the tests. Okay, so now we're building the debug version. So I want to just render our sample thing with the release, because it should run a little bit faster. So here's the result. Okay, I didn't see any problems, so we didn't break anything significant here. Cool. So, and let me run the tests. So I think to run the test I have to go into the folders. So let's take a look at the Padger walk test. Padger walk test is okay. And how about UTF-8 test? Everything's okay. Okay, I didn't break anything. That's pretty nice. And I think I already pushed everything. Yeah, I think I already pushed everything. And now let's create a pull request. Let's finally do a pull request. God damn it, what the fuck just happened? Improve error messages. Am I that dumb? This is not what I wanted to do. Wait a second, I need to do a force push. I'm an idiot. In chop nickname. At least I didn't create a pull request yet, so, but I'll have to force push into my branch. I'm really sorry about that, chat, by the way. I know that force pushing is bad, but I have to do that anyway. So let's go. Ouch, ouch indeed. 60, almost 69. I first pushed almost 69 times. So that's a pretty epic number, not gonna lie. Okay. So, Vodus. And why is it so bright? Okay, so it's just Dark Reader being Dark Reader. Improve error messages in Log Parsing. I'm gonna close this thing. Hope the Git police doesn't see that. Well, I mean, Git was created specifically for that, so it shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem at all. So we're gonna wait until it's done. We're gonna wait until it's done. That was interesting. I learned something about C++ today. I learned that you can have variadic lambdas with variadic generics and stuff like that. Like, I didn't know that you can do this kind of stuff. I think it's super useful, especially for integrating with aids, because the println of aids requires you to have variadics and stuff like that. Where is it sodding from? I have no idea what you mean by that, but you can check out FAQ. So a lot of questions that you might have about this channel are probably answered there. They're probably answered there. So, okay, I'm streaming for almost 3 hours, but unfortunately I'm a little bit tired already. I don't know why. So I think I'm gonna, yeah, I think it is time for me to go. I would like to push for 4 hours mark, but recently it's becoming more and more difficult for me to stream long. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Maybe soon I'll have more energy to do longer streams. But I think today's stream was actually kind of cool. We solved like one advent of code problem, and also implemented like better parsing and stuff like that. That was fun. I learned about C++ features and stuff. But unfortunately, it is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you. Today is Wednesday, so that means I'm gonna see you all on Friday, because tomorrow is a day off. Yeah, tomorrow is a day off. And on Friday, we're gonna have a random one-off stream, meaning that I'm gonna pick a random topic and I'm gonna stream it for one stream, and it's gonna be a surprise. So also check out our schedule page for more information on different projects we're working on, and also check out our vlogs channel, where we upload all of the recordings of our streams. This stream is going to be there, but tomorrow. It's going to be there, but tomorrow we usually upload them on the next day. And also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And that's pretty much it, everyone. That's pretty much it. Thanks everyone for watching. Love you all. Mwah.